Went on a date with a guy who like tried to humble me. And he's like, by the way, like, I just want to let you know, like, I'm not a boobs guy. Oh, okay. Okay. What are you trying to like belittle me? Like, what's your point? I'm like, well, my boobs are real, so I didn't really have a choice, but either way, my boobs are nice. So he's like, no, I'm not saying anything bad about your boobs. I'm just saying like, I'm like more of an ass guy, or like, I actually don't care. And I'm more of a show me what's in your bank account. Like, you're funny, buddy. I'm sorry. When did men feel like they could talk to women like this? It's actually pretty fucking disgusting. You could be more of an ass guy. You could be more of a tits guy. First of all, I have both. So like, fuck off. Fuck right off. Also, like, are you a man? Like, or are you gay?
You're listening to the X Podcast. The X you keep coming back to.
Hey guys, welcome back to the X Podcast. It's your host, Alessia. Didn't want to do a guest today. I wanted to still be solo because I feel like since I've been gone for so long, there's still like so many other things I want to talk about. But before we get into this week's episode, I do want to say thank you so much to anyone who's listened to my first episode back. I have received more messages than I think I've ever have in podcasting. The amount of support and people who have been through something similar, it's crazy to think. And I think when you're in something, you always think you're alone and like nobody else is going through it or nobody has been through it. And it could kind of be isolating in a way. And there's something about me just like releasing that episode that was kind of like, okay, like I could almost like start my life again in a way. But I obviously had like the ick at my episode, and like, I don't know, like there's something about like marketing a breakup or just like talking about it that's just so cringe to me. I gave you guys that episode. I cried it out. I spoke about it, but I never want to talk about this again. Like, it's dead to me. We're moving on. It's 2026. Happy fucking New Year, by the way, guys. I wanted to talk quickly about my visa because so many of you have been asking, like, I live in Canada, or like, I want to escape the cold. I feel like more than ever now, people are just fed up with Canada. I want to get the fuck out. And they're like, how did you get your visa? And I think there's a couple of different ways you can go into getting that visa. I got my visa through Moody's client, and I went to Scott Gregory. He is based in Toronto. So if you're a Canadian trying to get a US visa, your best bet, if you're Canadian, is to do it through a Canadian immigration lawyer. Now, I got an E1 visa. An E1 visa is somebody already doing trade in the US. So through Snapchat ad revenue, I'm already making more than 50% of my revenue in the US. So that's how I was able to show like, look, I'm making X amount here. Like, I need to be here. And this is what we're trying to fight to prove. Now, an E2 visa, think of an E2 visa as having to invest a certain amount of money in the US. So they say it's around like 80 to 150K. So like, imagine you're just like a girly who wants to, open up a Pilates studio here. You have to show like how much money you're going to invest in the US. Now, don't at me on this. I don't know if everything has to be like legit in the books, like you put down 100K in the US, right? Like you're like starting a business there. I'm opening a Pilates studio. I'm going to put X amount of money into ad revenue, into buying the equipment. Like, you need to show, I don't know if you have to spend exactly 100K, but you have to spend a certain amount and then prove the rest, from my understanding, guys. I'm literally not an immigration lawyer. I'm telling you from like what I've heard. So not everything I'm saying is probably perfect, right? So take everything with a grain of salt. Then there's a O1 visa. Now, when I originally was trying to get my visa, I had started down that path, and I started with like an independent immigration lawyer. Let me tell you, when you go through someone who like is not doing this all day, every day, you're going to get refusals. You're going to have to go back for it. Like if you're trying to save money to get it, it's going to be a bitch because most of the time they're not super educated in it and like they don't have an in and like they don't know exactly what you need to do. So then it's like, it takes longer, the process, and you could get refused and then it just doesn't work, okay? So I think the best advice I can say is go to a good immigration lawyer, like somebody who does this day in, day out. So I originally wanted to go the O1 visa route, which is a talent visa. You need to prove that you have 3 job offers in the US, which I think is the visa most people try and get because you're not having to put 100K down. It's like showing that you're needed in the US and then you can get your visa through that, which is like what a lot of models do, influencers, they usually go for the O1 visa. And then there's obviously an L18 visa that's like if you're working for a company and they could transfer you, they usually take care of all the paperwork and get you transferred to the US. Like they do all of that. And I'm pretty sure now they just implemented something where like if a company is going to do an L18 visa and get you transferred here, then you need to also show that you're like using a workspace. Like you can't just be working from your apartment. So like the company needs to almost get you like a workspace. Because I think Trump changed a few things and now like you really need to like prove that like you're getting a workspace. So that's pretty much all the visas that I know of, heard of. Maybe there's more, maybe there's not, but like probably listening, you probably fall under one of these categories. I also know that if you like invest or like buy property, there's another way, but like listen guys, don't at me. I have zero idea. And yeah, so I paid about, I would say like all in all about 11,000 US, which is like in Canadian a lot more, but it was about 11,000 US and he was in Toronto. So I had to go do my appointment in Toronto and it took about, look, they give you the paperwork to fill out and then that takes a few weeks to fill out the paperwork for them to get, started. Once everything is processed after the 2 to 3 weeks of going back and forth with your immigration lawyer and giving your paperwork, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks to hear if it went through. When they approve you, you still have to do an in-person meeting. So you like get the confirmation, but then you have to do the in-person meeting. So all in all, it takes about 2 to 3 months to get your visa if you're like on it and everything goes well. But if they look into your stuff and they see that, you're missing a paperwork or whatever. And then that happened to me. I was like, oh no, don't tell me it's going to be another 6 to 8 weeks. It was just like another week of waiting, not even. So all in all, it was about 3 months wait. And yeah, I would say, and then you go to Toronto and you do your in-person meeting. Now I think what takes time is getting the appointment to like, the thing is like having to like get your appointment in person in Toronto is what took like also another 2 months. And like, I know a girlfriend who did it like a year before me and she's like, it took me like, there was availabilities all the time. I don't know what's happening, but now apparently it like takes a lot longer. It also depends the time of year, right? When I was doing it, it was kind of like a busy time. But yeah, so 2 to 3 months of like waiting to know if you got accepted and then doing your in-person meeting, which I was so nervous about because if I don't pass this meeting, like I have to restart all over again. That's another thing with the lawyers. Like you pay once and then if it gets declined, like they'll do it again for you until they get it for you. So I do recommend going to someone who like, you're going to pay more, but you're going to get it done and it's going to be done properly. Like I had started with another lawyer and it was just a mess and like taking 3 days to hear back for like one little thing. It just was like, I looked at the paperwork and I was like, this is not going to be approved. And what do they say sometimes? Like, trying to go the easier, cheaper route ends up taking longer and you end up paying more in the end. That's kind of what was going to happen. So I'm happy that I'm happy that like I stopped that before it was going to be a thing. So yeah, that's everything I know about visas. I really didn't think I'd talk about this on the podcast, but it really seems to be something you guys want to hear about. Okay, we're moving on. You know what is so insane? For New Year's, I stayed in my apartment. I was like, I'm bringing in 2026 in my apartment. Like, I'm not going out. I'm not doing anything. I had a few people that like I met on a dating app that were like, hey, like feel free to come if you want. And I was just like, something about doing New Year's with people I don't know. I don't know why. I was just like, I'm not gonna force going out when like I could just stay in. And like, I also feel like it's something I've never done where I was like, I'm always out for New Year's. I always want an outfit. I want to get my hair done. Like, I want to do the nines. And like this year, I was just like, I don't know if it's like getting closer to 30. And I'm just like, I'm okay staying in. And like, somehow I feel like if I stay in, my path for this new year is just going to be incredible. I don't know why I just had this inkling. And I think it's just the idea of like saying I wanted to stay in and then listening to myself and actually staying in and being like, no, I don't need to be entertained today. It's New Year's and that's amazing. But like, what do they say? The better your New Year starts, the worse the year is. And like, I think of last year and how amazing my New Year started and it was the worst year ever. And now I'm like, I like ordered Domino's and ate cinnamon buns and like stayed in, and I was like, wow, it's kind of a shitty New Year's, but like it was a New Year's that worked for me, and I feel like it's just because it started off shitty, now it's gonna be great. No, but like I don't know, I was just like happy to do it, and I literally took a bath, I ate junk food, I like scrolled on my phone and watched everyone have fun on New Year's, or didn't, because let's be honest, New Year's is such a hype and then it ends up being the shittiest day. It's like so planned, so rehearsed, and then it's shit. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch everyone have a good time while I stay in, take a bath, and I honestly prayed, and I was just like talking to God and being like, this is what I want for my year. I want it to be calm. I want this in my life. I want this kind of man. I want this for my career. Like, all I'm thinking about in 2026 is how I'm going to get rich. Like, I don't give a fuck about anybody else. Like, even dating now, I'm like, can you level me up? Yes or no? You can't? Bye-bye. You're not going to help me? Bye-bye. I only want someone who's adding value into my life. And like, that's really, I feel like the energy a lot of women are on this year. Like, I don't care about anyone. I just want to be fucking rich. That's literally been my goal since I've been young. And like, that's the vibe I'm on right now. And it's like, one thing about like being in Canada, I realized like I never fully dated or ever looked at someone and took them serious, because I'm like, what are you doing in Canada? Like, do you not want better for your life? And I know for a lot of people who have businesses, like Canada works for them. Look, wherever there's like a need and there's like not a lot, there's also potential to do a lot. And I'm not like disregarding that, but I always felt like my man was going to be in the United States. Like, I needed somebody who dreams big, who has ambition and like wants a lot of money. And like, I just feel like it's in the US. And I don't feel like a lot of times people in Canada are a little bit like sheep-like. And I never, since young, I never felt like I fit into Canada. Like, from young, I was always like, what am I doing here? And somebody said it, they were like, there's winter about 4 months out of the year, 4 or 5 months out of the year. And if you calculate that to living 80 years of life, you lose 26 years of your life hibernating. Guys, 26 years out of 80 good years is like, what? That's like a little bit over 1/4 of your life. No, thank you. Like, I'm sorry, those days are done. But I feel like dating here, obviously we're in Miami. There's a lot of like fake money and scammers and people who act like they have money to impress you. But there's also such amazing energy here and like such established men that I've never really experienced in Canada. And I'm like a big dreamer. I think outside the box. I don't feel like I ever resonated with like people from like people in Canada. And I'm not saying that's everybody, but if you're like me and you've always felt like my man is not here, I don't want to start my life here, or like I want more for my life, like they don't call it the American dream for no reason. Like, there is a lot of money to be made here. And if you want to make a lot of money, sometimes you just have to put yourself in a situation to make more money, you know? And I think like moving here, obviously there's a lot of stress, right? It's like a lot more money. There's a lot of unknowns for me in my career. And it's like, sometimes you just got to do something and not think too much and just be like, I'll fucking figure it out, you know? And that's kind of my energy. It's like, if you think like I'm up here on my podcast and I have everything figured out and I'm flying, no, it's literally just about like tackling little steps at a time. It's like, great, I got my visa, great, I'm here, great, and let me put myself in the right rooms now, you know? It's not like I have everything figured out. Like, don't think that. But I heard something that was also like, if you like fantasize and believe how rich you're gonna be, like since you're young, or like when you have like, you'll just like daydream and that's what you see for your future, then that's like already yours. It's meant to be yours. And it's like, what are we waiting for here, you know? And it's like, we all know the dumbest people become the richest. I'm not saying they're all dumb, but I'm just saying like, it's about being naive, being just like, I'm better than you and I'm going to get what I want. And it's not to say like you think you're better than everyone, but you kind of have to have that mentality where like you're almost so delusional and you're like naive and you're just like, because I feel like really, really smart people, they think about everything. And that's why they don't really ever start anything. So almost like, if you're a Delulu girl like me, just be fucking Delulu and things are just gonna work out. And also people want to be around you because your energy is just so fucking contagious. And if there's one thing I learned from dating here is they're like, your energy is unmatched. Like you're such a vibe. Like, and I feel like a lot of people will be like, oh, well, Miami, you're like competing now with tens. And like, why would they choose you over another person? Why the fuck not? My energy is amazing. And like, who wouldn't want to be around me and the way I think and like how I see life? What? You're delusional if you don't think I'm the best. So if you're like that and you feel like you're around people who like constantly bring your ideas down, or, you know, like whenever you feel a certain way and then like somebody brings you back to reality, like I shouldn't really be sharing this, but I took a flight back here with my cousin and we were on the same flight together, and I love my cousin to death, but every time I was like telling him about like things I wanted to do or like things, he was like, yeah, but, and then like bash. And I was like, oof. And it's coming from like, it's not that he has bad intent. It's just like, sometimes people's views and experiences on things, they're gonna like project onto you. And like sometimes when you're trying to build something, you don't need to get everyone's fucking opinion, because sometimes they're going to bring you down. And I heard this thing that was like, the more you share your ideas with people, especially not like-minded people, the more they're going to bring you down, and then you're never going to start what you want to start. So stop trying to get validation from everyone and just fucking start. Who cares what everyone has to say? That is I'm going into 2026, and this is my literal one thing. I do not give a fuck anymore what anyone has to say about me, about where I'm going. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, so I feel like dating now in the US, I feel like I can breathe. I used to always only date when I would like travel to New York, or like whenever I was leaving town, I was dating, but it's hard to like plan with somebody when you're not like actually living here. I went on like a couple dates of just guys who've made so much fucking money and like came from nothing or came from something, or like just being around that, I'm just like, it almost feels so attainable. Like, there's something I'm working on that has nothing to do with this podcast. And like, I already know, just like being around people here, they're already putting me like in the right direction to get what I need. And like, that's the thing about like social networking, but also networking in the right location. And it just feels like everything here is possible because I'm not around, and things get done here. Okay. Like in Canada, it's like everything takes forever. You need permits. There's like this and that. Like it's not made for you to succeed. Like it's really not. And here it's like things get done quickly, not as quickly as New York, but still pretty fucking quickly because people are on the go, and it's like, it's crazy to see the difference. Also, another thing, people are like, oh, but like we have Medicare in Canada. What do you guys have here? If you get sick, like these are all people who like it's just so crazy. It's like when you're paying so many taxes, no problem. I'll come to a country where I will pay less taxes and I'll have no problem. I'll pay for my own Medicare and I'll actually get help when I need it. I remember my uncle was like, yeah, but like, you know, like just so small-minded, like thinking like back, I'm just like, I can't have these conversations. But in Canada, we have Medicare. Like, good luck if you get sick in the US. I'm like, well, you can get like a package that gives you insurance that if you get sick or whatever, you just pay a certain amount a month and you have Medicare like everybody else. Other than Canada, where I'm going to pay 40% taxes, be in the fucking cold, and then even when I have free Medicare, I still have to go private because I can never get an appointment, which is what everyone faces in Canada. Anyway, back to dating. It's like, I feel like now I'm in this energy where like I'm just around fucking millionaires. Like I think the 2 last guys I went on dates with are worth like 30 mil and like easy casual. Like I don't know, I'm just in like really, really high vibration. And dating here has been, look, there's definitely dates I've been on that I was like, oh my God, I want to die. There also is like a lot of distraction in Miami if you're not like fully like laser focused. Like, but another thing I'll say is like, you want to be healthier here because it's sunshine and like your competition here is hot ass influencers. So you're a lot more kind of motivated to eat well, to work out. Like when you're in the cold, it's just like, you're like, I don't care. I just want a burger. I mean, I still want a burger here, but like, listen, okay? Life is about indulging, and I'm still always going to be the girl who wants a good burger. But where was I getting at? Why are we talking about burgers? I feel like the sweet spot of like dating and where I felt like guys are on my level is mostly around the age of 33. They're like really ready. I don't know, like I feel like, I don't know what it is, but like in this new year, it's like the guys that I'm entertaining are all like, I told you, like millionaires. And they're all like, yeah, like just waiting on a girl, want to buy a house, like want to buy a boat and like start my life with like my wife. And I feel like it's normally around, from what I've been experienced, it's around 32 to 33. Like from the 3 guys that I'm talking to, that's so bad. The 3 guys watching are gonna be like, bitch, you have no guys now because we all don't want you. Listen, when you're dating and no one fucking puts a ring on it, you're single, okay? Okay, relax. Like, if you're dating somebody, you're definitely in a relationship, but like, you know what I mean? Already one guy's like, what are we doing for your 30th? Should I like charter a private jet? Should we go to Bahamas? Yes, we should. And we will. Let's fucking go to Bahamas, okay? Because yes, we should go to Bahamas. He's like, you want to do Japan or Bahamas for your birthday? And I was like, I'm dying to do Japan. And I'm also down for a nice Bahamas trip. We'd have to know each other a lot longer before we do Japan. Like, but a 2-3 day trip, pack your bags. Let's go, baby. Okay, I would only go if I really like at that point, like, you know, I'm comfortable and stuff. But yeah, I actually went on a date yesterday and like, he was just a little too sexual for me. And honestly, like it's a bit uncomfortable when a guy like gets really sexual. It was like our second date and I was like, and like, I'm kind of going along with it because I'm just like, but in my head, I'm like, you're never seeing me again. You're too sexual. Like, it's one thing, like, I don't know. I like a guy with like a lot of manners and if you feel comfortable enough to talk that way, then you're not my man. I don't know. Like, you can only be that way when, like, we're together. Like, I don't know. It's something about it is, like, creepy and weird. And it just makes me think, like, you're just trying to bang. And, like, I'm not trying to go to Bangtown, okay? I'm trying to find my husband. So if you're not willing to put in the work and you're already trying to fuck, nope. You guys are going to die. I had a girlfriend visiting in town, okay? And we had both had a Hinge date, okay? And I think my guy was picking me up at like 8 and hers was like 8:15 or some shit. Like something very close in time. And like we're getting ready and it's so funny how like the best part about going on a date, especially when you have your girlfriend, is to like get home and like order food and like gossip. That's like where the real like friendship bond is. It's like, let's talk about like our dates and how shitty they were or how good they were. Or I like this, but I don't like that. And it's like this and then, but then, and then I'll give him another chance because maybe, I don't know, but then he did do this. And then you discuss it with your friend and they're like, oh yeah, no, he shouldn't have done that. Then you're like, wait, no, never mind. I hate him. I can't give him a chance. And now you gave me a nick. I didn't know. So thank you. And now we're done. And then we're on to the next. No, I'm dead. literally how girls talk. But so we both had a date planned. Mine was at 8:15 and my girlfriend's was at like, no, we both had a date planned. Mine was at like 8, hers was at 8:15. And anyways, she's staying with me, obviously. So the guys are both picking us up at the apartment here. And I remember going down and being like, and seeing a G-Wagon in front and being like, fuck, yes. It's my dream car. I want a G-Wagon. And my man, if you're watching this, just know if you don't give me a G-Wagon, well, I'm not marrying you. I'm dead. Or Alessa, you can make your own money and get your own G-Wagon. Boring. Still want him to pay. You know, I think about how like I've really fully become myself in this single time. And like, I think about how I was really trying to be someone else in this last relationship. And now like someone's like, would you get back with your ex? Or like, would you give him another chance? I'm like, he wouldn't survive. He wouldn't survive one day. Like if he knew who I actually was, he wouldn't survive a day. So yeah. And I realized the guys who made it and guys who like, you know what I mean? They're at a point where they're not like, a guy who doesn't want to give you what you want is just poor. Like a guy who like made it and has money wants to give you everything. They don't care to give you your wish list and everything you want. So again, there's nothing wrong with building. Just don't build with a fucking dick and then you're good. Where was I getting at? Anyway, we both have a date, okay? I go down, I see the car, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a G-Wagon. So right before getting in the car, I'm walking in my lobby and I text him, I go, yes, he has a G-Wagon. I'm so happy. But even when I was looking at the G-Wagon, I was like, why does it look like a Jeep, you know? But the older model G-Wagons kind of look like a Jeep. Like, you're like, is it a G-Wagon? Is it not? Like, I'm confused. And anyways, so I see the car and I'm getting in the G-Wagon. He's in his head because it was actually my friend's fucking date's guy's car, okay? He wasn't out of his car to like open the door for me because he was like, I'm here early because his was at 8:15. I'm getting picked up at 8, but he was already there. He was just waiting. And I thought that was my date. So I'm walking towards the car and I'm getting in the G-Wagon because I go, well, obviously my guy, that's him. Then I see he's wearing like DDD everywhere. And I'm like, that's really not like my kind of type of guy, you know? Like, I don't really like a guy who's like wearing DDD all over. Like, have money in the bank and wear a regular black tee from Uniqlo. Like, I don't need the big, or like wear Chroma Hearts and then like, fuck. But I'm dead. But anyways, yeah, like I'm not really into the Rico Suave DDD. I have money and it's like you probably have 5 cents in your bank account. Because somehow when I see DDD, I think BBB, I think broke. I don't know. Anyway, not always the case. I'm just saying. So he's getting out of his car to come. And then I realize that my guy and his car is right behind the G-Wagon. And he's like, no, over here, over here. And like, it's just so funny that I was getting into my best friend's date's car. And then I realized and I'm like, oh shit. And then I, at that point, didn't realize, oh my God, I'm getting in the car with like my best friend's date's car. I just think like, oh fuck, like someone else is getting picked up here. Then I get into my guy's car, which was a sexy ass Porsche. I think it was like even more expensive than the G-Wagon. Well, G-Wagon, it looked like a Jeep. I don't know, it was fucking old. So I was like, oh, fuck. I get to the restaurant with the guy, Porsche guy. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, wait, was that my best friend's date's car? Because like, it must have been. So then I text my girlfriend. I'm like, never mind. I was in G-Wagon. My guy was in G-Wagon. Like, we could forget that dream. Meanwhile, the Porsche was way more expensive than the G-Wagon. I don't know what it is about G-Wagon. It's just hot. Anyway, so yeah, I leave and then I text my girlfriend. I'm like, babe, I think your guy is G-Wagon guy. Like, how funny is that? Like, we're literally like, I got into her, and then after this guy, and then when she gets in the car, apparently the guy said, yeah, this random girl tried to get in my car. He's like, in her head, she's like, babe, that's my best friend. She was trying to get in the car. Anyway, so I had went on that date. That day was fine. Tell me if you have a kid, okay? Don't wait till we go out and then you go, by the way, newsflash, I have a child, okay? Let me decide if I want to be involved with somebody who has a kid, okay? Don't make me come on the whole fucking date and now I'm trapped. Now I'm like, oh yeah, that's amazing. You have kids. Tell me about him. Oh my God, how old? So cute. How are you and the baby mama? Like, are you guys good? Like, what's the relationship like? I would like to know if I'm getting involved with somebody who already has a kid. Don't fucking lie to me. Don't like mention it before, okay? More honorable, more respect, and you'll find yourself a girl quicker. Like, I don't know. So I just like didn't like that about that guy. But one thing I do like about a little bit older men is they don't really ever ask, like, what do you do for work? What do you, and I don't know why, for me, that's sexy. A guy who's like, and what do you do for work? And how much money do you make? You're broke. Leave me alone. Okay? You can ask, what are my hobbies? What I like. I don't even like when they ask, what are my hobbies? And I have to start being like, Pilates. I like playing pickleball. Two things I hate what guys ask on a date are like, what are your hobbies and what kind of music do you like? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. What are my hobbies? I like to go to the restaurant and eat dinner, okay? I like to have a vibe and have a good dirty martini. That's my vibe. And then sometimes I'll work out, and then if I don't want to work out, I'll go and eat somewhere, and I'll just like to walk and be pretty and just fucking live my life and have a soft girl era. But meanwhile, there's like so much to me and so many things I'm doing, but I don't want to talk about that. I don't know why. Like, I don't want to talk about the project I'm working on. Like, unless I feel like this person is like connected and can help me, then I'll talk about it. Then I'm like, perfect, let's talk about it. You know, like, how can you help me? How? I'm in the year of how can you come into my life and keep pouring into it? How can you benefit me? How can you win my heart over? How can you make worth being on a second date? Like, I'm at a point where I just want a guy to fill into my cup, okay? He will get the best of me when I decide, but like I need to see a lot of action. And like when a guy is like, and what do you do for work and how do you make money and this, you're broke and stay away from me. I really like, it's really bad energy for me. And I know it's like guys do it to like show interest in a girl. Like I'm asking questions, like I care. And like, I feel like I get it. A lot of guys will be like, well, I don't want a girl who just sits at home and does nothing. But there's something about like a guy asking too many questions about work related stuff for a girl that's like a bit of an ick, and it sounds like you're broke. I don't know if I'm sounding so like insane right now or like delulu, but I'm like, I'm living in my own galaxy, okay? You guys could either join it or you can get out of this episode. Went on a date with a guy who like tried to humble me, and I was like, what's happening right here? He was like, by the way, like I wasn't even showing boobs at this on this date. Like I was like not really showing tits. And he's like, by the way, like, I just want to let you know, like, I'm not a boobs guy. Oh, okay. Okay. What are you trying to like belittle me? Like what's your point? I'm like, well, my boobs are real, so I didn't really have a choice, but either way, my boobs are nice. So he's like, no, I'm not saying anything bad about your boobs. I'm just saying like, I'm like more of an ass guy, or like, I actually don't care. And I'm more of a show me what's in your bank account. Like, you're funny, buddy. I'm sorry. When did men feel like they could talk to women like this? It's actually pretty fucking disgusting. I think it's so interesting when you like go on a date with a loser and he like thinks that he can like, and the thing is like they want you and they're just trying to like bring you back to reality or like belittle you. And it's like, I've never heard of a guy who's gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna take the tits. You could be more of an ass guy. You could be more of a tits guy. First of all, I have both. So like, fuck off. Fuck right off. But also like, you think I'm gonna be there? You're like, oh, well, I have an ass too. You think I'm gonna like stoop to your level? Like, actually, you're never getting laid, buddy. How about that? Also, like, are you a man? Like, or are you gay? By the way, I'm not bashing gays. I love gays. All my friends are gay. So, why are you gay? Who said I'm gay? If you know that reference, okay. If not, whatever. But like, and I was like, okay. And suddenly I was just like, I hate him. Like, that's the thing with like girls. Like when you do something, right away after, you're just like, oh, like anything he says, like I can't even listen to this Finocchio anymore. And it's like, I know, and it's, you guys, by the way, it's multiple guys who have done this to me. Like okay. It's two guys who did this to me. One that I met and one that I just was talking to on the phone. He was like, by the way, like, and then like in the end, he was like, and I was like, okay, like I was being rude about it. And he's like, no, like, I'm just trying to say like, I'm more into faces. Like you have a pretty face and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, don't bash me and like think that you're going to do that. And then like, even if you were trying to show the like, you're not that type of guy. You know, like guys who like do things to try and act like, oh, they're not like, I'm not trying to be with you for your boobs. Like, I know that one guy was trying to do that, and it's like, babe, I also don't think that's hot because now you fucking sound gay. I prefer you're like, yeah, I like tits. But even, why are we talking about tits? Why? I find men on dates early on talk too sexually, and it's such a turnoff. There's something about like going on a date and like men literally talking about women's bodies. And when you're friends with a lot of guys and like you hear the way they talk about women and their bodies, it's actually disgusting. And normally you like don't want to date those guys. But I think for a woman, we always think, okay, like we already feel this enormous pressure of like having to be perfect all the time. And it's like when a man will come on a dinner date and like mention parts of your body, or even if it's a compliment, it's like save that a little bit. I don't know. Like, okay, maybe if it's a compliment, it's fine. But like, I don't know. I don't feel like the like sexualness right away. And also what it's telling me is like, it gives that feeling of like, and it's not an insecurity thing because I know most women feel this way. It's like, oh, okay, like the thing you're focusing on that you like so much about me and you're always talking about is like my body, my body, my body. What about when I have kids? Huh? I'm sorry. Like, am I still going to be good enough to you? Like, you better like other things about me than my fucking body. And if it's something that you're always talking about, then it makes me feel like I'm only useful in this relationship for my body. And like, once that goes sour, like you're going to start looking elsewhere. Like I need to be with someone that I feel safe enough that even if I get older and I have kids and my body changes, that you're not just with me because you're trying to talk about all the compliments you're giving me on my body, you know? Like sometimes it like does a backwards effect when you talk like that, and it actually turns off girls. So be careful. You can say someone looks beautiful, they have an amazing body, but like end it there. Don't start talking like this and that, and I'm not a boob guy and I'm actually this, and like you're literally a fag, and you stay away from me and stay away from every girl. Also, one of my New Year's resolutions was to not go to a strip club. I actually had a guy that I had met here that was like into me, but like was from LA, and he left, and then he just like completely like bashed me. Like, I'm going to pull it up. So whatever, he like answers my story and he's just like preached to my chocolate cake, whatever. Then he goes, how has the move to Miami been? It's been good, but it's been back and forth a couple times. Now I leave on the 30th and I'll be back for good after that. Like, I feel like I'm just starting to get settled in now. He goes, you didn't go home for Christmas? I said, no, I did. That's what I'm saying. He goes, is 2026 the year you're going to find your husband? And it's like, it's weird because this guy's like into me. So I'm like, why is he saying that, you know? Anyway, I just made a joke. I was like, thought I did. Oh my God, I'm a fuck girl. Thought I did. And it's like, I'm not dating this guy. Anyway, then he goes, which DJ do I know him? I say, LMAO, imagine. I would never date a DJ. He goes, lol, true. You're probably after finance bros. Guys, this is a guy who's into me. Like, he's like searching for a fight. I'm like, yo, what's this call out right now? And I said this because when he had originally met me, he thought I was Latina. And the second, this like a Jewish guy who like, whatever, like he's from LA, he doesn't want a Latina, okay? And the second that he found out I wasn't Latina, when I had met him and like we had went out, I went to Hugo with him, his whole energy changed, like his whole vibe. He's like, oh my God, you're like Eastern European. Oh my God, okay, you're from Canada. Like, then he became so down and like just treating me completely different. Like, go to the washroom, here's $100 for tip, like anywhere you need, like truly like doing the most, like anything you need, this and that. He liked me, okay? And just doing the most. The second he was putting in zero effort before like finding that out. He was like, oh, I thought you were Latina. I'm like, no. And like, so already his vibe changed when he found that out. I don't like that. I don't like a guy who like treats other girls differently, because that's already a red flag. I said, yo, what's this call out right now? Anyway, then he goes, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I liked you a lot. Body, T, personality, 10 on 10, but you fit a very common stereotype. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting called out right now. I'm like, which is? He goes, you're one of those girls that acts like they're looking for a husband, but all the places you go and things you do does not align with finding a husband. Looking for the right thing in all the wrong places. I'm like, are you asking me or are you telling me? He goes, am I right or am I right? I said, because I have not been doing anything that says that. I've been going to dinners and working, lol. I left the night I met you while everyone else was out. And it was the first time at Palm Tree I've ever been. Like, don't assume. So, like, guys, like, he thought I used him to go to Palm Tree. Like, how fucking immature and so insecure. Like, buddy, I could be at any table at Hugo. Like, you invited me and I came. Like, why now are you being like, anyway, whatever. The night I had met him, we had like went to Hugo, we had fun, and then we went to dinner. And then him and his business partner continued partying. And I was like, guys, like, I'm calling it bye. And I left. Okay? I left. And then he's telling me who I am. Okay? He's like, because I have not been, I'm like, so I'm like, because I have not been I said, because I have not been doing anything that says that, lol. I've been going to dinner and working, lol. I left you the night I met you while everyone else was out. And it was my first time at Palm Tree. Don't assume the type of girl you think I am. And also, leave me alone. He goes, I doubt you would have met up with me if I wasn't going to Hugel. Buddy, I'm not here for your insecurities now. Like, I don't know you. It's the first time I met you. You invited me to Hugel and I came. Like, don't start now with the, and you only came because I was going to Hugel. Yeah, probably. I thought about it as like, yeah, I want to see Hugel. And if we hit it off, even better. Sorry, I didn't think about it as I'm meeting the love of my fucking life tonight. Like, what? So I literally wrote, yo, what? He goes, and when I tried to take you to dinner and you couldn't, and you could have got to know me, you flaked. Guys, I was leaving the next day to go back to Canada and I had so many things to do. And it was like 3 p.m. and he's like, hey, can you come to the Standard? Let's get a spa. Like, you'll get whatever treatments you want and like, let's do dinner. He wanted me there in 30 minutes and he asked me like 30 minutes before, like, hey, like, basically. And then when I said no, I couldn't because of the last minute, because he asked me last minute, I was like, sorry, no, like if you would have told me sooner, I would have been able to, but like, no, and I leave tomorrow, like I don't have the time. He's being all insecure that I flaked on him, and I'm just like, yo, like, I don't know why you chose violence today. And to say I used you for Hugal, he goes, you give off, let's go on a trip to Mykonos vibes. I wrote lol. He goes, ha 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 ha. Sorry, that was mean, but I get irked when girls say they want a husband, but then don't really mean it. And you moved to Miami, better off finding a husband in Antarctica. But good luck. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I didn't answer. Actually, I sent a voice note being like, literally fuck right off. I actually came here for a man and then it didn't work out. And it actually just so happened to work out also to come here. Like, fuck off. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but there might be some truth to it. I said, honestly, stop taking drugs. I was like, yo. But in that, he mentioned something. He was like, they go to, I think he mentioned something in there like, oh, like you go to strip clubs and stuff. And I honestly, like, I actually want to talk about that. I talk about like not wanting a guy who's at, in this new year, like, I'm not about like going to strip clubs anymore. Like, I feel like what I want in a guy is at places that are not strip clubs. There's something about a guy going to a strip club that is just not aligned with me. I don't want to be there and I don't want my man there. And there's just something about a guy at a strip club now, the older I get, that I'm like, I made like a 2026 goal of mine. And it's like, I know that in Miami, it's like 11 isn't really a strip club, but it is. And like, there's other ones, but I kind of just told myself, like, I'm not going around that anymore. It's not my energy. It's not where my husband is. And I'm kind of like, I kind of want to stick to like whatever I kind of set for myself and whatever I say. Like, I don't want to do something like, it's true. Like, if I'm looking for my husband, like, what are you really doing at a strip club? And I get it. Like, 11 could be fun. And, like, it's not really strip club-like. But there's something about, like, I don't know now. Like, I think if you're a guy, it's one thing if, like, guys go to strip clubs with girls. It's kind of like, okay, like, you're going with girls, it's one thing. But, like, a guy who goes with another buddy to a strip club, I look at and I'm like, for the streets, okay? Like, a guy who's going to the strip club is for the streets. You're going to a strip club to get blue balls, literally hire a fucking escort and get fucked. There's something about a guy who's like literally going there to drool over women that's just so disgusting if you're not going with other women. Like, if you're going there after a night out, you're literally a fucking loser, honestly. Like, And all the guys I talk to now, they're like, no, I don't go to strip clubs. And I'm like, yeah, okay, 100%. And I think that if I want to mirror the same energy of like guys who are also not going. So like, I don't want to be there anymore. And it's so different being a girl going because it's like guys take you and stuff. I'm really trying to be focused with my energy. Even going on dates now, like at the beginning, I was like kind of having fun with it. I was like, okay, go for like the vibes and going for the meet people and the free meal. And now it's like, no, like I'll sit at a table by myself and eat before I'm like giving energy to anybody anymore. Like you really have to be on the same wavelength as me, and you gotta be pulling through with a lot of stuff on my list. Speaking of lists, I want to talk about what it is you need to have at this point in order to go on a date with me. Ew, I'm so ugly. And a brand new car. No, I just want to talk about how, like, what are the things that get you cut after a date? Like, what are the things that happen that you go, never? And I have them written down. If you have any of these, you're cut from the program, and I'm not going on a date with you. I'm not seeing you again. You can forget about anything, okay? This is how you get cut from the program. If you are agnostic, atheist, stay away from me. I don't want to be surrounded with anyone who doesn't believe in God. And look, guys, I know that everyone has their journey, and like people find God when something happens to them, and like not everyone believes in it or feel or like is spiritual. But like I'm at a stage in my life where like so much shit has happened to me, and like I found God, and like I don't need someone to necessarily be Catholic, but I would like that. But somebody who doesn't believe in God and thinks they're God, stay away from me, because the way they act, even if they say like, yeah, there's a lot of people who say, yeah, they are, but it's like, I don't know. You're just saying that, you know? Like, I don't know. I just think like you move so differently and you're way more pure. I think that sometimes like I'm not shaming anyone who doesn't, and like some people are spiritual and all that stuff, but I just think like from where I am at now and like what I've been through, I need a guy. Like you have more odds on your side when you choose a guy who believes in God, you know, like and puts God first. I think it really shows like a different kind of guy when you go for someone who is fearing. Somebody who fears God will always be a better man to be with than a guy who thinks he's God. So that's how you get cut from my program. A guy who follows a lot of girls on Instagram, cut. Drinks or parties too much, cut. If a guy asks too many questions about my job and like is so fixated on what I do for work, cut. Somebody who also doesn't text at all, like after the date, or like waits to try and be cool 3 days, cut. Okay? I want a guy who's showing with intention, is gonna message me. Doesn't have to be many words, a lot. Like you're allowed to go 1 day without messaging, like, but just like a good check-in. It takes 2 seconds to be like, hi, busy with work, but hope you have a good day. If a guy says, oh, you live in Brickell, so the restaurant I want to go to is actually right there, so we'll walk. Cut. Call me a fucking Uber. I don't care if it's 0 minutes away. Hey, I'm actually podcasting right now. Can I call you back? Babe, I'm in Miami. Bye. If he asks, like, if he says, like, yeah, you know, we could walk, like, I'm not destroying my fucking heels, offer it. Like, offer the Uber, and Uber Black, please, okay? If not, cut. If he sends an Uber after the night out and you leave and he doesn't message to follow up, hey, hope you got home okay, cut. If you don't check up, okay, when human trafficking is happening in Miami and you're not worried about me, no. Say, I had fun tonight, good night. Hope, like, did you get home safe, okay? Yes, I saw that, like a reel once that was like, let me do it. Hey, babe, I'm actually super busy with work, but I hope you have an amazing day and we'll talk later. Have a good day. Love you. 14 seconds. 14 seconds out of your day to make a girl feel wanted, there, and that's it. You don't need to be texting all day. We don't need that much, but we need you to actually show a little bit. We just need you to like to give that, you know? And it's like it really doesn't take much, and it took 14 seconds. I feel like in this new year, like I ghost people less, and like if I'm not feeling it, like if it's been like a few times or like I feel like they keep trying, I'll like end it. I'll be like, look, like I think you're a great guy. Well, I've lied a couple times. I'm like, look, like I'm actually like working things out with my ex. Like I've lied because I'm like, I don't know how to shut it down. So I'm just like, leave me alone. But someone who can't catch a hint, like I've told this one guy, I was like, look, like, I think you're great. I'm just like not feeling it, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like he still continues to like invite me to things. I'm like, bro, can you have some kind of self-respect? Like, stop. Oh, because it's tough. I just was like, I felt so awkward. I'm like, why are we still in this position when I finally had this conversation with you? Why are you still making it awkward for me? Leave me alone. Another thing about being in Miami now, it's like you'll get in the elevator and it's like hot dudes will get in the elevator with you. But then I think about it, and I don't know if every girl is like this, but like if you live in an apartment building and like you see a hot guy get in the elevator with you, I don't know if it's because like, I don't know if I'm like this, but like, it's like you can see a hot guy in an elevator and still be like, well, no, because like, why does he live where I live? Like, I live here. I'm just a girl. Like, you have to be better than me. You have to be in a better apartment than me. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I can't find a guy hot who lives in my building because like, what are you doing in this building? I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks like this, but it's like, ew, you live in my building. I can't like give you a chance. Like, you need to be better than me. You need to be in a better building. And I don't know, maybe for girls who are in a crazy sick building, you don't probably care as much. But like, when you're like dating and you want like a man who's like better than you, then you can't accept a guy who's in the elevator with you. No, it's not gonna work. Oh my God, guys, I rambled everywhere. But yeah, I just felt like I needed to do this episode solo, just catch up on some things. But next week will be with a guest. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I love you guys, and